Sup muchachos? Now today's video we're going to be talking all about Harley-Davidson turbo systems. I would say by far one of my most asked questions is, should I turbo my Harley-Davidson? Wow, what a beautiful day it is out here today. The lake does not look like glass though. It looks a little bit choppy, but still a beautiful day out nonetheless. Now amigos, before I jump into today's video, if you have not yet joined the clan, the Bertini clan that is, just to clarify, go ahead and, well, you know the deal people, click the subscribe button. It's free to join the community. Let's go ahead and head back to the Bertini garage so we can talk turbo systems. With that being said, go ahead and roll the intro. Alrighty amigos, we're back here in the Bertini garage and well, let's talk turbo systems. By the way, for those of you who are new to our channel, this is Witchcraft. This is our 2024 Stage 3 Plus Ninja H2. For those who don't know, that's made by Kawasaki. And she is extremely slow, just a little over 300 horsepower. But don't worry, we're gonna be making her much faster. And I'm sorry for the sniffles and the runny nose. It is extremely cold here in Florida. And by cold here in Florida, we mean anything that's less than 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So jumping right into it, as I mentioned, the number one question that I'm asked is, should I turbo my Harley-Davidson? For those who don't know, I used to have a fully built, turboed 135 cubic inch Street Glide. That thing was pretty insane. Here's a quick clip of our fully built Street Glide. This thing was a monster of a build. So, should you turbo your motorcycle? The quick and dirty answer is, in my opinion, absolutely yes. There are very few cons to turbocharging your motorcycle. In fact, I'm a big believer in turbocharging everything. When you've heard the sound of a turbocharger on a car, it's a memorable experience. When you've driven cars that are turbocharged, they're memorable experiences. Take that to a motorcycle, it is hard to describe into words how fun turboed bikes are. Or any forced induction, because obviously my bike over here, my H2 Witchcraft, is supercharged, although I do wish that Witchcraft came turbocharged. Forced induction on a motorcycle is an indescribable experience. If you have an opportunity to go and ride somebody's turboed bike, take them up on it. Now let's talk price, because turbo systems are definitely not cheap. But all things considered, they're really not as expensive as you might think. Because if you're talking dollar per horsepower, forced induction is definitely the way to go. Take for instance a Harley Road Glide or Harley Street Glide. Comes factory with a 114 cubic inch motor. A little over 100 horsepower, give or take a few. Slap a turbo on that. Now you're at $140, $150. That's some serious horsepower gains. And I'm literally talking about buying the turbo system, slapping it on your bike, and calling it a day. I'm not even talking about supporting modifications. For $6,000, $7,000, you're not gonna get that from anything. You would have to do some serious motor building in order to see those kind of numbers. Now, I'm not knocking you naturally aspirated guys out there. Before I turboed my bike, I had a 135 cubic inch built motor. So I get it. I get the sound of it. I get the raw performance of it. But the fact is, if you're watching this video, you're contemplating turbocharging your Harley-Davidson. And like I said, a lot of people are on the fence of doing this because they're not sure if they're gonna put it on and blow up their motorcycle, or they're gonna put it on and burn their leg off, or they're just not gonna be happy with the sound. Once again, I'm speaking from my perspective here, which brings me to my second thing that I get asked most frequently: is a turbocharger hot? Meaning, if I turbocharge my Harley-Davidson, is it gonna be really hot? So the motor itself, no, is not gonna be any hotter than it already is. What's hot is the physical turbo. The exhaust side of the turbo is what gets hot. Now, when you're actually riding, you definitely don't notice it. I think maybe for some people, if you have like skin sensitivities, maybe you might. And for some people who are a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Attentive to certain things like that on their motorcycle, it is gonna be a little bit warmer. but it's not as dramatic as people make it seem. Now in traffic, that is where you will feel more heat coming to your leg. But guys, it is very manageable, especially, I promise you, when you start seeing the reactions that people have when looking at your Harley-Davidson, I don't give a shit if it's a Sportster. You're turning heads with a turbo system. Out of all of my vehicles, obviously Witchcraft pulls a lot of heads. The GTR pulls a lot of heads. All of my vehicles pull some crazy amount of heads. But my built turboed Street Glide, I can't even put it into words. Everybody stopped me to ask me about that motorcycle. Every time I went to a gas station, people you wouldn't even expect. Like, I think I might have mentioned this a few years ago in one of my videos, but I had a grandma at a stoplight. Now, I don't know if she was a grandma, but she was really, really old. She had to be middle to late 80s. Asked me what kind of motorcycle I was riding. So that whole heat thing, guys, that goes out the window very quickly when people are constantly asking you about your bike and you're getting recognition for your bike. Now, you might not be one of those people who don't care to get attention, and that's okay. Me, when people recognize my projects, I freaking love it. It is such an indescribable high when somebody sees one of my projects and they're like, what is that? Oh, that's so cool. So for me, yes, it is absolutely worth turbocharging your bike to deal with a little bit of the heat that you're gonna get on your leg. And also, when you guys push your bike and feel, you have that feeling of what a turbocharger feels like, that in and of itself is indescribable. When you get on this thing and it slingshots you, you feel like you're being like sucked back and then sent forward. Guys, it is very difficult to explain what that actually feels like. And it's even different than a sport bike feeling here on Witchcraft or a hyper bike like Witchcraft. I don't mean to disrespect you, baby. But to me, the pros outweigh the little bit of heat that you're gonna feel on your leg. Dollar per dollar, save up your money, get a turbo system. I haven't had a single person yet who has come to me that I've recommended to get a turbo and has been pissed off at me because they bought a turbo system and now they were miserable. Now, right now we're in 2025 and there's a lot of turbo system manufacturers for motorcycles, specifically for Harley-Davidsons. For Sportsters, for baggers, for Softails, there is a lot more turbo systems out there than when I went ahead and turboed my Street Glide. So the turbo system that I went with is a Trask Performance turbo system. To me, that is the most turnkey option. It is the most proven option for your Harley-Davidsons. It doesn't matter if it's a Sportster, if it's a touring model, so a bagger, if it's Softail. Trask Performance is the most turnkey option and most proven option out there in the Harley world of turbocharging your motorcycles. Now, in my opinion, they are the best system, and the reason why they're the best system is because they're the most turnkey option. You can literally put on one of their turbo systems in your home garage. You get a Thunder Max tuner. It does all the tuning automatically for you. You take your bike out for a couple of rides, turn it on, turn it off, ride it for a few more minutes, turn it on, turn it off. It just keeps updating and gets the tune better and better and better as you ride your motorcycle. So it is literally a turnkey option. On that note, depending on the shop, installations will run you anywhere between $1,000 all the way up to around $3,000 for those dealerships and shops that like to use sandpaper condoms. But bro chachos, there's a loophole. The loophole is book an appointment with Trask for one of their events, like Daytona Bike Week. They do free installs. So immediately you're saving several $1,000s. Now, one thing I would say, they fill up pretty damn quick. So make sure you get on their schedule right now because those things fill up fast. And I know because when we went to turbocharge my bike, unfortunately, they were already filled up. Now, the cool part is I got to film it with friends and we filmed it at Blockhead Moto Garage. Chris did the whole install and it came out perfect. But nonetheless, that's how quickly they book up. They couldn't fit me in. Now, what I don't want you to take from this video is that Trask is the only people who have turbo systems and do turbo systems. There are several on the market now. You could do your own research and find out what other systems are out there. There's a couple of cool ones that I've seen on Instagram that have different designs that put the turbo, instead of it being by the front of your leg, they put it to where it's more to the back of the bike. That's cool. I haven't tested any of these options. Therefore, I cannot recommend you to go with one of these systems. I just know that they exist. Who knows? Maybe in the future, I'll get to ride one of those bikes and give you my opinions on them. But for right now, I don't know much about those systems. And for those of you who are interested in supercharging your bike or getting a pro charger for your bike, that's also a viable option too. I don't have much experience with those. Personally, I like the sound of the Snail, the sound of that turbo system. Even though superchargers, we got blow-off valves too, it just sounds different. The spooling sound of a turbo to me, that thing is crispy. And by the way, guys, there's like no lag with a turbo system on your Harley-Davidson. So when people are like, oh, but supercharger, you get zero lag. There is no lag with the turbo system for your Harley-Davidson, whether Street Glide, Road King, Aunt Jemima, Sportster, Breakout, all of them. Not a single one of them are gonna have lag with that turbo system. It is immediate. You don't believe me? You can go check out my videos where I get on it, and it is like infinite power on tap immediately. On that note, if you're looking for some go fast bits, bro chachos, check out brocksperformance.com. Use discount code BERTINI, and you're gonna save yourself a little bit of money. So if you're thinking of some carbon fiber wheels or any other performance parts, Brock's Performance has them. Use discount code BERTINI. Save yourself some dough. On that note, I hope you found this video useful. These are things that I get asked all the time about turbocharging your Harley-Davidson. I am flattered that you guys find me as a go-to source for your questions on turbo systems, or at least turbocharging your Harley-Davidsons. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Of course, you can ask me any questions in the comment section and I'll answer as many of them as I can. And of course, you can continue hitting me up on Instagram. I know many of you guys DM me on Instagram about these questions. You can DM me there and I'll try to answer all of them for you as well. But ideally, you do it in the comments section, and the reason for that is responding to every single DM is very time consuming, people. So please, just comment down below. On that note, amigos, if you have not yet joined the Bertini fam, join our family, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. This way you can be notified every single time we put out a new video. And let me know in the comment section if there's any specific videos that you want me to talk about, whether naturally aspirated, turbocharged, pro-charged, supercharged, what it's like owning this kind of beast of a bike, the GTR, whatever it is. Whatever it is. I don't know what I just said there, but comment down below, let me know. And muy importante, like we like to say in Hispanic, make sure you're putting out good energy into the world and you're paying it forward. I'll check y'all out later. Bye now.